I went back and forth on whether I should say something. I'm big on not reacting from emotional fronts. I always want to stay as objective as possible. So I've sat, I've reflected, I've leaned into the research since yesterday's announcement, and I have a few things to say. So the administration is pushing warnings about Tylenol in pregnancy and autism. The studies they're citing, they're observational, and that means association, not causation. Okay, cool. That's like what everyone else is saying. But here's the nuance most headlines are leaving out. Fever itself has been linked in multiple large studies to a higher risk of autism. So if a mom takes Tylenol to bring down a fever, is it the Tylenol or is it the fever that's driving the risk? Most of these studies haven't fully separated those factors. That's a massive confounder, and ignoring it is very sloppy science. Now, associations are still important. They're signals worth studying, but they shouldn't be given policy-level weight without nuance, or else the public gets misled. And here's another layer of nuance. In medicine, there are some excellent providers and then there are some really crappy ones, but making sweeping generalizations off a few experiences, that's called haphazard observation. It's when we treat anecdotes like universal truth. That's not science, that's bias. And that's exactly the problem with turning preliminary associations into sweeping public messaging. Now, professional organizations like ACOG, they're still calling Tylenol one of the safest first-line options in pregnancy when used at lowest effective dose. That's objective medical guidance. Now, you know your girl has to throw in some psychology behind this because public health messaging isn't neutral. It definitely shapes behavior and trust, and exaggerating weak evidence creates fear. Fear changes behavior. Pregnant people may then avoid treatment, risking real harm. They may also then lose trust in science, in doctors, in medicines altogether. That erosion of trust, it's not random. Messaging is strategy. Strategic fear gets people questioning the wrong things while ignoring the bigger issues. And what's really critical here, we don't know yet what that larger strategy is. I don't believe this is about intentionally hurting women or sowing confusion just to do it. Policy shifts like this almost always serve a broader agenda. So if the science doesn't truly support the claim, then the question becomes, why frame it as such? That's the deeper layer we have to hold onto with objectivity. So the fierce truth here is that the science does not prove Tylenol causes autism, but the messaging definitely proves how easily public trust can be manipulated. At the end of the day, if you're pregnant and you're worried, don't let headlines dictate your health. Ask your OB, get trusted providers, weigh the risks of treating and not treating your symptoms, and keep conversations grounded in actual evidence, not fear.